Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I just got through listening to Stephen A. Smith in regards to Ben Simmons' situation. You know, I've been following that. And Chiney Ogumake, I hope I'm saying her name correctly. And they were having a conversation about, the situation in regards to Ben Simmons. And Chiney was basically saying she believes that Ben Simmons would probably be ready to go if he were moved from Philly immediately, and the fact that the environment itself was probably what's not healthy for him in his mind. And I mean, Stephen A. Smith was trying to understand that. It sounds like he wasn't quite understanding the concept. It's like, well, you're fighting with the Philadelphia 76ers because you want to get your money. You don't care about your money. It's confusing what his point of view was for me personally. But I think what I was grasping was basically, how is it that you have mental health issues, but immediately could play elsewhere? How is it that you could play elsewhere but not for Philly? And what's the fight about if it's a situation where you could just immediately play basketball? You know, this is the things, and then I'll address Stephen A. just right off top. I can't speak for Ben Simmons. I try to, you know, apply what I go through in my own mental health stuff, and maybe that's not the right way to go, but that's all I can really go by since I have my own experiences kind of in something similar. But what I'll tell Stephen A. is this: there are certain things that can trigger a mind, man, and sometimes it's not about your perspective on that environment. Asking Chanae about how her experiences was in Philly and talking about your experiences in Philly and saying, well, I don't understand why he would have a problem in Philly. I've been to Philly. It's not a bad environment. It's not about that. It's about his perceived understanding of said environment. It could be flowers and rosy for all of us, but the way his mind sees it, it's just a toxic environment and it triggers him negatively. We have to become more knowledgeable about the differences between what our situation is, and I speak for myself included, and what someone else's may be in their perspectives. We can't just apply what it is we understand and think that when we do so, we'll understand mental health concerns within another person's mind. Ben Simmons has his own way of looking at Philadelphia. Chanae's experiences and your experiences with Philly will do nothing for helping you understand what his position is on that. They won't. You will never come to a conclusion that makes any sense to you because you're coming from your point of view. You're coming from within your mind, which doesn't have those problems. You just gotta kind of, when it comes to mental health stuff, you have to. It's a tricky situation because you have to trust. You can't get in somebody's mind to know if they're being honest. You can't get in somebody's mind to know how severe things are. You can't get in somebody's mind, period. But what you can do is look at the behavior, listen to what they're saying, and try to apply some open-minded thought to that, and just empathize as best you can. Now, to try to perceive whether or not someone has a problem or not, or whether or not they're faking mental illness, I don't know how to do that no more than Stephen A. appears to. But what I can say is, Stephen A., you got to get yourself out of the situation in order to best understand what Ben Simmons is trying to provide in his perspective. And to zoom out even further, we ain't heard Ben Simmons say a dang thing. We ain't heard nothing from Ben. So it's very hard to even go there and be responsible in what we say. And I can tell you right now, I made a video for 30 minutes about 2 hours ago about my situation. And I got something going on mentally that it's very, very, very difficult for me to overcome. But as I told people in that same video, someone could drop a bag of money at my doorstep, and it would change my whole life. I'd be able to do a lot of things that I'm not finding within myself to do, just based on the fact that the stresses I have are financial based. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the answer or the healing of my situation, but it does mean that I'll be able to operate more freely with that being a solution to my issues. So for Ben Simmons, if I'm to apply the same, if I have a right to, I would imagine getting out of Philly would be his bag of money. You know what I mean? That would be my bag of money, his situation in solution. I mean, I think it's not about whether or not he can go out there and play basketball. It's about whether or not he will allow himself to go out there and play basketball for the Philadelphia 76ers and how he views what that means to him. You know, for me, the things that I had going on, like going in to do what it is that I do for a living, security, is like jumping in fire in my head. I'm trying to overcome that. I'm having a hard time doing it. When I was a kid, it was school. You know, that was like drowning myself. You know, you tell me to hold my breath underwater for 5 minutes is the equivalent of how I perceived it. It doesn't mean that once I got to school, I had to jump in some water and hold my breath. It doesn't mean that everybody around in that place of education perceived it the same way I did, or could ever understand what it was I was saying, or was obligated to believe my perspective as fact, because they couldn't get in my head to find out if I was telling the truth. All they could go by is the fact that I was never there, and if they were to have a conversation with me, they'd hear me describe it as feeling like I'm drowning, right? So that's what I want to try to provide. I think it's very difficult for people like myself who have mental health concerns or issues or what have you, dealing with individuals who don't perceive themselves to have any mental health issues and how they function without any concerns or any wars within themselves. It's hard for us to have real, honest mental health conversations with those individuals if they're not open-minded enough to just provide a sense of trust to us as we describe what it is that's unfathomable to them. This is unfathomable to you. You don't operate with these struggles. You don't have those issues. There's no way for you to derive any sort of concrete, tangible base from which to try to understand what it is I'm talking about, or Ben Simmons may be going through. There's no way. You got to trust in situations like this. If you are sane and you don't have any mental health issues, you don't have no leg to stand on as it pertains to how to perceive what it is that we're going through. You got to listen to people like me to help you understand what I'm going through, to help you understand what Ben may be trying to convey through his circumstances. It's not for the sanes to get. You're not going to get it, fam. There's no way to get it. You don't even have these issues. They're not in your head. And it's no different than any other perspective. I can't sit up here and say how it feels to be in Bristol, Connecticut. I don't know how it feels to speak to a bunch of kids at colleges. I don't know how it feels to have sat next to Max. I don't know. That's your experience, bro. All I can go by is what you tell me. And even more so when it comes to mental health, it's no way to even start from. It's nowhere to even, you can't even, you don't even know what questions to ask, because you're coming from a place from which those issues don't even exist. So that's what I want to say, man. I'm not surprised to hear of Ben saying, or I don't know how to describe this, but I'm not surprised by the notion that Ben would be able to immediately play basketball for another franchise, because the franchise that makes him unhappy, stressed, or whatever that may be is Philadelphia. He don't want to play there. He can't play there. His mind's not allowing him to play there, even in the midst of $19 million being removed from his existence. Like, that's a lot of money. And for people to think that this is not a mental health issue, I mean, I guess it's because I am someone who suffers these things. And I can honestly say, of course it's a mental health issue. Are you kidding me? You guys, I think you guys are crazy for not seeing this as a mental health issue. I think everybody's in a damn twilight zone for not seeing exactly how sick Ben Simmons appears to be based on the behavior that we're seeing here. $19 million out the windows to do what it is he loves to do. He loves basketball. He's living his dream, and he can't bring himself to do it because that's how toxic he perceives his environment. Do you not see that as a mental health issue? And everybody's saying hold himself accountable. That would come from a sane mind. A sane mind would say, I'm not playing well. It's nobody's fault with mine. Let me go ahead and get myself together so I can prove to these people wrong. That's what a sane mind is going to do. That ain't what his disrupted mind is doing. His disrupted mind is going everywhere but there, because it's helping him cope with the problem to behave this way. Please understand that I'm able to describe this because I'm in it. I'm living it. I'm going through hell in my own mind, literally right now. And I'm telling you, it's just that, man. That's the beauty of my circumstance, because I can be here to tell you this. It ain't about anything other than just how he perceives the situation. And if he's able to get out of that situation, trust me, he'll probably be a better basketball player than he's ever been in his life. Why? Because the relief of such burdens come off of his shoulders. Not real burdens, perceived burdens, which are very real in the minds of us. Please understand this, sane people. You don't have no way to derive any sense of understanding if it pertains to this. There's no way to get it, man. There's no way to get this. But hear me good. If you watch all of my therapy session videos, all of them, it's like 41 of them, hours and hours and hours of me telling you how I've either gone through what I've gone through over the last couple of years, or even more so gone through what I've gone through over the last 37 years. And I'm telling you, it's all mental. And when it comes to mental stuff, it ain't no logic that's going to help you out through that. It ain't no pressures that's going to make you adhere to it. It ain't no dangers that'll make you say, okay, let me step into this mental space for which my mind is disrupted. You would rather go with the other path, even if it means something drastic, because that's how it's perceived. It's a war within your mind. What you can all hang your hat on is Ben Simmons has been showing signs of this before this has gone left. He has had these issues before it went left because of the shooting issues. That was the first sign that there was something very, very wrong there. When he refused to shoot the basketball, being as smart of a basketball player as he is, do you really, in your mind, a person who's as genius at basketball as I know Ben Simmons to be, do you really think in your mind that he doesn't see the fruit in shooting the basketball when he's open? Of course he does. It's that his mind won't allow him to adhere to what it is that's supposed to be done there. Maybe that's the purpose that God gave me these issues, so that I could speak on Ben Simmons specifically, maybe. I don't know. But what I'm telling you is, I know what it is that his team is trying to convey, and it's similar to what it is that I'm going through today. He knows what he should be doing. He knows what's on the line, but because his brain is disrupted in that way, it won't allow him to do it. And he's going to take the other route, even if it takes him all the way to the grave. And that is not a good thing. He needs help for that. And he certainly doesn't need enablers from within his team or from people who are going to fight him even more so, making that disruption even worse. AKA the Philadelphia 76ers, of whom are working from a standpoint from which they don't believe his mental health issues are real. That doesn't make any sense to me if they've been sitting here watching him have issues shooting the ball. That doesn't make sense to me, the fact that they have people, professionals that they can hire to help them understand what it is I just described for the last 11 minutes. I just think they're being ornery. I think they're coming from a space of what it is that they want. They don't care what happens to this kid. And that's why I've been on their heads as bad as I have, because I think that they have all the resources to know and understand what it is that I'm describing, and they don't care. Unlike a guy like Stephen A. Smith, who's trying to understand, but just is not able to understand. I would imagine a guy like Stephen A. Smith needs to see this video in order to have a better understanding of how exactly disruptive these mental health issues can be for a person like myself, or maybe Ben Simmons, depending on his situation as he sees it. But the point is what's being described is the fact that he is stressed beyond belief playing for the 76ers, and his mind won't allow him to overcome that, even in the face of $30 million or what have you on the line. If that ain't a mental health issue, I don't know what is. What do you need the man to do to help you understand how sick he is? He's given up $15 million already. Seriously, world, what else do you need to see? The man's ill. And I listen to all these people say, oh, he's soft, he's this, he's that, oh, he's clowning, he's getting back at Shaq. Shaq, homie's sick, bruh. He's sick. That's it. Because if he weren't sick, he would have never found himself in the circumstance in the first place. He would have never been too afraid to shoot. He would have never not dunked that ball. But he's young, man. See, I've lived 37 years, so I can come around to some of the conclusions of, okay, there's something wrong with me. I don't have to hate myself for feeling this way. I don't have to fight others who don't understand what it is I'm going through. I don't have to be in depression, beating myself up because I don't understand what it is I'm going through. I've lived enough to know that this ain't my fault, even though accountability is something I hold pride in. At the end of the day, it's not his fault. His mind is not well, no different than anybody else, no matter how you perceive their sickness. Even the worst of sicknesses, the ones you can't stand to deal with, the ones you want to murder people over, those are sicknesses too that they have no control over. We have to reach a space of our minds where we understand that better. We need to reach a space where these conversations are had more so that people are not confused about how to handle people who are dealing with these type of sicknesses. And having these ignorant conversations about, well, if he's able to do it here, why can't he do it there? Because here is where it's the problem and there's where it's not. Period, fam. Literally that. Take it from somebody who suffers. It is that simple. And yes, he can turn it off. At sometimes, maybe he won't. Maybe he'll get to a point where he changes his mind. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he stands on this. But what I'm saying is he hasn't reached a level of understanding within himself, I'd imagine, based on his age, to really know how to handle this properly while going through what it is he's going through. That's what my perception of the situation is. Because I remember how I was when I was his age. I didn't have no understanding of this. People were telling me I was lazy. I believed them. Seriously. People were telling me, you don't want to work, you lazy, you don't want to. Why don't you just do this? I don't know. I hate myself. Maybe I'm self-destructive. No, friend. No, you're really ill, bro. Because if you weren't ill, you would have never let it get this far. If you weren't ill, you would understand exactly what to do to keep yourself from letting it get this far. And because he hasn't been able to do that, it shows me how sick it is, how far into the deep he is in regards to his mind. I can relate, Ben. If ain't another soul in this world can relate, brother, this guy can. I'm suffering it, man. And I don't give a damn what any of them say. You have to get help for yourself. No one's going to come give you help. None of these people, these guys who are making money off of you, some of the ones that you're signed to, homie, they don't understand this shit. I'm going to tell you the truth. They going to make money off this. They going to tell you whatever you need to hear, and they going to keep you as sick as you need to be to keep money in their pockets. That's how it goes a lot of the times. You ain't got no friends in this situation, not in this industry. But you have to take the resources that you have, and you're still a rich man. Get help, bro. Stop looking at who's wrong, who did what. Stop listening to people tell you soft. All this shit doesn't matter, friend. I'm telling you, it's all about how you perceive yourself. That's going to be how you fix your issue. Not getting out of Philadelphia, because what ends up happening, and I'm telling you this because I've already been there, is once you leave one Philadelphia, you may find another. That's what Ben Simmons has not lived long enough to find out yet. Philadelphia ain't your only Philadelphia, dude. Your problems are going to chase you. I promise. I'm living it. PDF 44.